What's up, everybody? We have 10-ish minutes here, and it's just your hosts, Mark and myself, Jimmy, over here, coming to you live-ish. Not live, actually, it's recorded. But, you know, what I love about this one, Mark, is that between you and I lies your both infamous and also just regular famous 300 WSM, WSM, Winchestershire Shortimus Maximus, whatever you want to call it. And we're actually going to discuss some of the origins of it, how it even made it into your arsenal in the first place. And that actually plays into then a pretty cool hunt that you went on. In fact, we shot a couple of podcasts while you were away, so people might have seen, you know, where's Mark? What's he up to? You were on this Prince of Wales bear hunt, right?
Yes, yes.
But how does the gun weave into this? What was the story with this hunt? And it was a bit of a long-awaited payoff.
It was, Jim, and as you mentioned, this is my beloved Browning A-Bolt stainless stalker 300 WSM. I'm going with WSM right now.
All right, yeah.
Love this rifle. I've had this rifle since 2004. Now, we've talked about this one before. I mean, this is it. We talk about it all the time. Like I always say, people are probably sick of it, but I love it so much I'm going to keep talking about it. So I bought this. The origin of how I procured this rifle, I was working for Cabela's at the time. My main rifle that I had was a Browning BAR Mark II Safari.
Oh, yeah.
So I was going on this Southeast Alaska bear hunt, and I said, you know what? I need a new rifle, maybe something with a little more gas, and maybe something a little bit more suited for the saltwater environment of the coast. Now, this was a family hunt. I was going with my dad and actually and a buddy of mine, so I consider him family. And I said, yeah, I need a new rifle. Now, I wanted to go to Prince of Wales. Like, I'd read about Prince of Wales. I'd wanted to go there. And my dad was like, well, hey, I talked to this guy that used to be an outfitter up there. And he says that we should go here, which was a different location. He says it's going to be loaded with bears. You're going to have it to yourself, whatever. So we booked a Forest Service cabin. We flew into Ketchikan on the Big Jet, had contracted a person to ferry us to this Forest Service cabin. Now, my dad, we actually also shipped up a 10'4" inflatable boat.
Oh, we've got some experience with those.
Yeah, we do.
Ours is just 8 feet longer.
To tootle around in. So anyway, we get there, we hunt for the week, we have a fantastic adventure, we almost flipped the boat. Very frightening. I'm actually lucky to be here, Jim. We didn't see a single black bear. Now, when you're thinking Southeast Alaska, you're like, throw a dart at the map, there's going to be a ton of black bears. We saw brown bears every single day.
Okay.
So, end of the trip, great adventure, did not see or shoot a black bear.
Got it. Now, old Bessie was on that with you. That was the first trip.
No, this was the inaugural. And so, I mean, we probably should have gotten... This is kind of like a homecoming story.
Right.
This is Mark's 300 WSM, a homecoming story.
That's right.
So fast forward to, I don't know, a couple years ago, I draw, because now the Prince of Wales hunt is on a draw. I draw the tag. I'm going up with my buddies Rob Ensley, Jesse Knock, both of which have been on the podcast before. Jesse lives up in Southeast Alaska. If you're interested in a really cool deer hunting podcast, tune in to one that we recorded with Jesse on previously.
That's right.
I think I'm going to be smart, though. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm finally going to get to use this rifle up there. But I'm going to be smart, and sometimes I like to ship. I like to ship my hunting gear to a hunt. That way I don't have to carry it through the airport. You don't have to do the whole rifle thing. I'm going to simplify the process.
Seems brilliant.
So I go down to our fantastic Vortex shipping department. Now I'm going to preface this. This is no fault of our shipping department.
Right. Also, this is the most planned out I think I've ever heard of you being.
Oh, yeah.
About anything, too. So,
Jim, I was dialed. I literally needed to get to like the regular airport, fly up there, meet my stuff there. It was going to be easy. Oh, so easy.
Beautiful. I
shipped my stuff up probably, I want to say at least a month in advance.
Yeah.
At least a month in advance. And I didn't really believe it, but it's like, oh yeah, this is going to take 2 days to get there. And I'm like, perfect. 2 days, a week. Well, even if it takes longer, I'm shipping my stuff a month in advance.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse calls me, and I'm kind of like, waiting on it. I'm like, nah, certainly it's going to be there. Jesse calls me the night before I'm leaving. It's like 8 p.m. I'm getting one of my daughters down to bed. I'm like, oh, Jesse's calling.
You never checked up until this point? Like, hey, just to double check all that stuff got there, right?
I just kind of assumed it was there. Thank God he called.
Okay.
It's like 8 p.m. I'm leaving in the morning. He goes, hey, your stuff still isn't here. And I'm like, oh, well, this is a problem.
And if you, all right. And if you know Mark, you know that, oh, well, this is a problem, is the under exaggeration of the century.
Anxiety was at an all-time high.
I don't think I've ever seen you more anxious for anything in my entire life.
Yeah, like I was like,
and that's saying a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean this is a hunt that literally is like, even just drawing the tag, it's like 1.5 years in the making, just because of the way the tag structure and the draw and whatever. You find out you draw this tag long before you go, and here I am. It's literally like it is nighttime. It is the night before. Luckily, I am a pack rat of extra hunting gear. You probably know that, Jim.
I do.
And I get my daughter down to bed, and I'm like, well, buckle up, let's pack. So I'm packing all my kind of like secondary gear, like, okay, yep.
The backups.
Got all my backups, dude. It was like literally a suitcase full of Plan B gear.
I didn't know it was that kind of trip. This is a family program, Mark.
Yeah, all right. Oh boy, back on track.
Okay.
And so I luckily I had I had been checking on it. I'm going back. This is so long ago. I had a rifle. I speculated that I might have to do this, though, right? So, like, literally that day or the day before, Ryan and I, we had a 28 Nosler here at the shop.
Yeah.
Slapped a scope on it. Got that mounted up. Actually, it was a prototype of the scope that we have on this one here at the time. And so I brought that rifle home. I pack all my stuff that night. Go up, have a fantastic hunt. All my gear work, it was great. Like, it worked out. Shot a nice bear, had a blast. But there yet again, though, Jim, this rifle did not make the trip to the island. We'll fast forward again to this very spring.
And did you discuss what happened to the rifle, though?
Oh,
where was it?
It ended up somehow, and I don't really know, but it ended up on a barge. All my things, all my, like, literally my lifetime supply of, like, number one items that I'd go on, like, any backcountry remote hunt, from clothing to headlamps, knives, all my rifle, all my main things, gone. I want to say a month and a half after we got back from the trip, my stuff arrives on the island. I have to instruct Jesse.
Where had it been,
It was on a boat.
But I know, where did the boat go? What had your things seen?
I don't know.
That's what I want to know.
Here's what I can tell you. My suitcase did not look the same when I got it back. It had some cracks. The handle was missing. Like, it'd seen a few things.
Used it as bait in some sort of deadliest catch scenario.
Yes. So I instruct Jesse. I'm like, here's what when this was talking to our shipping department, he had to refuse accepting the items. Like, he essentially, like, he couldn't accept the items.
Right.
And so that sent them on their path, theoretically, back to me. 3 months later, I had nearly written them off. A handful of phone calls. Does anybody know where this stuff is? Basically, kind of nobody knew where it was, and then it just kind of all magically showed up at Vortex one day. So I got my things back, including...
What a day that was, including this old gal. My gosh, she has really been everywhere.
Yes.
Okay, but you had to explain that, because that is a great part of the story. Now, what happened recently? Is that where we can go? This is the old round robin, back to the original intentions. 2004.
From 2004 to 2021.
No joke, Mark. When this all started out, and this, I don't mean to make you feel old, I was in 4th grade. You're married with 2 kids now. I'm married,
You're married
for
now.
4 years now. And only just then did the rifle get to go on its originally intended trip.
Yeah, quite the timeline.
Yeah, that is. So, all right, carry on.
So, draw the tag again with my buddy Rob Inslee, as well as Joey Pyburn, who's also been on the podcast.
Yeah, he has.
And we're gonna go again. And this time, I brought my things. I brought my things with me, and they stayed with me. And
it's funny how that works.
And they made it there, and we went on another fantastic adventure in the wilds of Alaska, and I shot an awesome black bear with it.
Incredible.
It finally got one,
and we have the footage. We'll splice in here real quick. MC Ryan can do a little cutaway. All right, so there's your incentive to watch more on YouTube as well, because then you're going to get to see that. But Mark, what was the feeling like? I mean, was it just euphoric when you finally shot the thing? I mean, a lot of tangled up emotions in that, which is already just an exciting thing to do in the first place. Even if this was year number 1 with the brand new guy, I mean, I can only imagine.
You're bringing it all back, Jim. Give me a minute. No, it was awesome. It was so cool. And really, like, the rifle, just for that hunt, kind of a storied history. I was stoked to finally get it up there. It's still shooting fantastic. Shot the bear with a 165 grain GMX. I think it was probably like a 230-yard shot, something like that, across a bay. Built a really solid position with 2 backpacks. We talk about the fundamentals of marksmanship, Jim, and part of that is getting stable. And we built a really solid position and made a good shot on the bear. Ran didn't make it to the tree line and tipped over. So
amazing, Mark. We're already over 10 minutes here, but I got to ask you at least 2 questions real fast.
Yes.
1. The dope chart taped to the side of that stock.
Yes.
The tape that is affixing it to the stock looks like it's been there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, has that ever changed?
Yes.
You have switched this out from time to time.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I've got, really on this one, I've kind of got dope charts for my dope charts. Yeah, if any, I think I've held the gun up a couple times, but I generally, when I put a dope chart on my stock, I use and it's a synthetic stock here, like packing tape, right? So I make the chart. Here's my process. Here's charts. Jim, you love charts.
Big fan.
Make the dope chart.
Yeah.
Print it out. Laminate it.
Yeah.
And then use clear packing tape to tape it to my stock. So that's actually what the dope chart that's underneath this dope chart is like that. I had to create a new dope chart because I think I switched to a mill-based scope.
Got it. Okay.
And then, again, last-minute stuff. I just brought them to Alaska and cut them out, and then I had electrical tape, so I just used electrical tape to tape it over the top of the other one.
Beautiful. Okay. The one underneath this one, has that changed ever?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I switch them out. It actually comes, if I recall correctly, the last time it comes off pretty quickly.
That's good to know. I thought it'd been funny if, like, back in 2004, Mark laminated a piece of paper and that's been the dope ever since. But I like that. Also, worth noting, this thing's been around the world probably. Mm-hmm. And you may be the only person, and somebody's going to come out, of course, be like, well, I made that happen, the metallurgy, whatever. But it is of note, and you should take pride in the fact that you have actually managed to make a stainless barrel start to rust.
The saltwater environment, Jim, is very, very hard on really any rifle. I'm sure this thing fared better than maybe like a standard blued barrel, but
I can't imagine.
You're just not. It's difficult to get away without a little bit of surface rust there. So I'm actually going to grab Mr. Mucky, and we're going to go over this with a little bit of steel wool and stuff like that. Maybe we should kind of talk about that process, actually, getting a little bit of surface rust off your rifles. But
I think it's a worthwhile topic.
Yeah, and I think there's probably some, if you Cerakoted it or something like that, it would probably even have a little bit more
patina
protection.
would be gone. You look clean and new again.
True.
Can't
True.
have that.
Maybe we can't do that. But yeah, it was a fun hunt. Kind of good to get this gun finally up there. Kind of close that chapter of the story. And yeah,
I love it.
it was great.
Fantastic story, Mark. For those of you listening out there, you've heard probably about Mark's 300 Wisdom before. So, yeah, there's that. There's a little bit more color around the gun. If you have a gun of your own that you've got all sorts of crazy stories around, we know many people do. That's the awesome thing about guns. They're practical, they're fun, and they can oftentimes, many times, be super sentimental. So, hit us up with stories, comments like that in the comment section below if you're watching on YouTube or on Instagram if you're listening now and you head over on Instagram later on. We'd love to hear them. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Mark, that was great. I like a little story time. Also, side note, what to do about a rusting barrel. Fantastic podcast topic that we have to do.
I thought I'd tease that one a little bit.
Yeah, I like that. We got to do it for sure.
Yeah, I was looking at this here. Like, there's, I wonder if you can like take this bolt apart or something. There's a little bit of stuff going on.
I bet you
in
can.
there.
I bet you can.